Alright, so this is a follow-up video to the build process of this gourd, and at the end of that I had the tension on the head, the bridge pushing down, the strings tuned up to standard, and this pretty major crack formed in the gourd. So today I'm going to be trying to fix that. The first step to doing that is going to be getting this head off. This upper one is okay, this lower one's got to come off. So this actually went way better than I expected. I just could kind of slide something under the tack and pry it and they'd pop right out. I was really surprised at that because I thought I was going to be fighting with it, but I had this all taken care of in probably just a couple minutes, so that was great. Then here it is with no tacks, and you can see that the hide glue really is like holding it on there still, and I'm like pushing on it and putting it under some tension here, and it's holding just with the hide glue, which had me worried in the moment because I was like, man, I'm gonna have to like shred this thing to bits to get it off of here. But again, I just like slid my knife under and it just kind of came loose. And somebody in the comments did mention that hide glue is like purposely a lot weaker than wood glue so that you can pull things apart, like for this very purpose. So basically my fix for this problem is to use this fiberglass. I had to open the garage door because this stuff smelled horrible. It was like killing my brain cells. I really need to get a respirator. So yeah, that's definitely on the shopping list. But yeah, the way I'm doing that is I got gloves, of course, and then I'm mixing up a little resin, cutting some little pieces of the fiberglass, sticking them in there. I've done this a few times before, and when I was a kid, I built a kayak with my grandpa, and we basically did this to the whole inside and outside of the kayak. So when I started building gourd banjos, I was like, oh, I'm going to do the fiberglass, because I kind of already knew how to do it from when I was a kid. And it's kind of fun, even though it's actually kind of horrible. But it's fun, in a way. It's sort of like paper mache. And yeah, fiberglassing here, I'm just doing it, obviously, to make the gourd stronger, so that it can hold tension. But it also has another effect of hardening up the inside of the gourd, rather than having the soft, porous inside naturally that the gourd has. This will harden it up, and that allegedly affects the tone. And here is the gourd. It's kind of a mess right now, but this is it with the dried, cured fiberglass on it. So now I'm just trying to clean it up, and immediately when I started sanding it, I got a fiberglass splinter in my thumb, so that was fun. A little more cautiously now, I'm just sanding it down. I'm sanding off the entire original finish that was on it. So that took me a little while, and then when I got that pretty much to a good point that I was happy with, I started sanding down the crack to try to get the crack a little less visible. And now I'm just reapplying the shellac. I'm putting about 5 coats on, I think I did, so that got me right about back up to where I was. And then I put a couple more coats of oil on the neck. I had been wanting to do that anyway, so this was a good opportunity to knock that out. And here it is at the end. You can just barely see the crack there. It's a good bit more visible than that in person, but it's definitely hard to spot if you're not looking for it. And I'm going around now and tapping it. And then the way I'm tapping it right now, I'm listening to see if there's any rattling or any buzzing, just to make sure that there's no loose fiberglass or that there's no piece of fiberglass that has bonded poorly with the gourd, because that's burned me in the past if you've been watching some of the other videos here. And now I'm just working on tacking this head back on. This was, again, if you saw the last video, I mean, this was just quite a miserable process. Second time, it was just as rough as the first time. It's just using these cut tacks is so hard. They're just so much thicker than the regular furniture tacks I use, and I think that might be what contributed to cracking the gourd in the first place, was just having so many of these fat tacks going in there. And then I cut off the excess, and it was good to go. And now here I'm using my soldering iron as a wood burner to try to sign my name in this. I apologize for how horrible it looks. I'm kind of in talks with one of my roommates to go halves on a wood burner, so these signatures will really improve. But yeah, just BG for my initials, gourd number 13. Again, I know that looks horrible, but I have to start signing these things. So yeah, there it is, back up and running. I'll show a close-up of the crack here. You can barely see it. I've had it under full tension for a few days now, and there's no signs of stress or anything. So yeah, I'm going to hang on to it for a little while longer, maybe a couple weeks or a few weeks before I have it really ready to go up for sale, because I just want to make sure nothing else crazy happens to it. But yeah, it's finally, I think, finished. There's one more thing I want to test with it, because I have the fiberglass in here now, and I have video from the other week of me playing East Virginia with no fiberglass and just the natural inside of the gourd. So I'm going to play East Virginia right now. I'm in the same location, I have the same mic set up, and I have it tuned exactly the same as I did the other week. So I'm going to play a little bit of East Virginia now and then compare it to a couple weeks ago. All right, so here's East Virginia on the fiberglass gourd. So yeah, let me know if you can hear the difference between those two, if the tone sounds like really noticeably different at all, and if so, which one you like best. I personally don't want to be fiberglassing gourds because I like the more natural feel of it, but I definitely do see the logic of hardening up the inside instead of like having a porous inside. And now there's another plane coming, so I'm done.